What is currently happening, programs? Welcome to the Grid VR, where I'll be bringing you this week's news in virtual reality. It's Sunday, the 20th of May, 2018, and all I can say this week is get some retro death. We've got Star Trek TNG coming to the bridge, Compound VR showing how great permadeath is, Valve's new site having some promising hints, Pavlov, ESL, Seeking Dawn, and much more. Today, I'm going to cover off the main events to keep you in the loop. So stay locked, enjoy, and welcome to the Grid VR. My favourite Star Trek storyline, The Next Generation, is coming to Ubisoft's Star Trek Bridge Crew for all major VR HMD owners. Step onto the bridge of the Enterprise NCC-1701D and fill one of 4 crucial roles to keep the Enterprise D boldly going where no man has gone before. Command from the captain's chair, steer the ship as a helmsman, fire photon torpedoes in the tactical seat, or manage the ship's crew and resources in the newly created operations role, which replaces the engineering role from the original Bridge Crew game. More on that in my review video here, which I'll link in the description below. There's now Romulans and Borg featured in the DLC, as well as 2 new missions, Patrol and Resistance. Resistance being a roguelike voyage where you must search the system for anti-Borg prototypes in order to fight off the Borg cube that's currently assimilating everything in its path.
Resistance is futile.
There's also a fully functional planet killer, complete with deadly anti-proton beam, warp core breaches, and custom android-type avatars in the biggest update to the online multiplayer to date. It's a highly requested DLC for the series, and while I'd also suggest you check out the ongoing TNG fan-made project by Stage 9, which I covered in this episode of the Grid VR on the 24th of February this year, Star Trek Bridge Crew TNG is a fully realized experience from the source. The PSVR DLC is out on the 22nd of May, and Rift, Vive, and WMR players will be able to make it so on July the 21st. A program called Bevan McKechnie is single-handedly developing one of the most unapologetic throwbacks to retro first-person shooters in the game. Compound is a randomized, roguelite, free-roaming VR shooter for the Rift and Vive that drops you into a toxic underground system to clear the map of nasties before progressing to the next map. Wield a pixelated pistol, sprite-tastic shotgun, retro railgun, or a hot pink SMG in the spiritual love child of Wolfenstein 3D if it were wearing the colour scheme of Commander Keen, as in the original Commander Keen. The game has multiple locomotion options, controller options, and almost every setting under the sun to customize the experience to how you prefer to play, and it's downright impressive the amount of relentless fun involved in working your way through the levels while munching hamburgers to stay not dead. I've been rinsing the life out of this game the past couple of days, and the permadeath aspect, as well as the addictive soundtrack and stable gameplay, makes it tough to put down. There is a free demo on the Steam store, which has been out for a while now, or you can front the $20 price tag, contribute to the early access growth of the game, and get some retro death. Valve have updated their website to include some prominent focus on VR tech, including a background clip of a guy wearing a Vive and using the upcoming Knuckles controllers. Also included in the About section of the site is the title, "We're Just Getting Started," right next to a GIF showing production prototypes of the Vive. What's interesting here is that one of these pics features Gaben himself rocking an as yet unseen version of the HMD. Now, this could be an older pic, or it could be a new teaser of their upcoming work. I think it's the first of the 3 VR games they said to Eurogamer that they were developing late last year. This game being Guess What This Is, which will be followed by the sequel, Guess the Release Date, and the 3rd game in the series, which will be called... I'm kidding, there's no 3rd one. Nice try, Valve, but I'm a fucking master at this game now. There's some VR-centric roles available as well, so if you've always wanted a job at Valve leaking their top secret info, then there's a link in the description description for the job application and my MySpace contact page. The company have also updated their Steam VR beta software to include custom controller mapping. So if you don't like the controller layout of a game, you can just switch it around as you see fit, so shitty controller layouts be gone. As is becoming standard, some positive VR movements from Valve, and after they acquired Campo Santo, the Firewatch, and In the Valley of the Gods team, I can't wait to not see what they're working on in the next 10 years. And briefly, Pavlov is getting a new game mode called Gun Game, which you may recognize from a lot of other FPS shooters like Call of Duty and Bullets and more. Gun Game switches weapons on you each time you make a kill, and it's a great little game mode that adds an extra random challenge element. I've been playing Pavlov a bit recently, and the game has come a long way since its release. So if you like the idea of Counter-Strike in VR, or you want to see the full clip that's on screen now from Messiah Penguin, then check the links in the description. The team over at Hyperbolic Magnetism have posted a tweet saying that Beat Saber sold 50,000 copies in its first week, which is a hugely positive number for the team and VR in general, as it goes to show that good production values, stable gameplay, and addictive replayability beats relying on just having high-end graphics to sell your game.
And the graphics, that's really what this is all about.
It really isn't though. A user called Zionico has also created a fan-made custom song editor for the game that lets you play custom songs that other users have created. This will actually be a feature of the full game in the very near future, as well as an option to create your own levels via a level editor. But you can check the link in the description for instructions on how to play a few hundred community-made Beat Saber levels right now. Oculus have partnered up with ESL, the biggest esports company in the game, to bring us all Season 2 of the VR League. This year, a prize pool in excess of 220,000 USD is up for grabs, as well as a more flexible tournament system and up to 7 participating titles in the 5-month competitive period, which will hit the grand finale at Oculus Connect this year. Echo Arena has already kicked off a 4-week comp, with the upcoming Echo Combat due to start later in the year. And there'll also be 3 Onward invitation events being held from June the 16th to the 17th at ESL UK Studios. As a previous COD gamer myself, though not that type of COD gamer, and as both an ESL fan and a VR fan, I've been digging my heels into Pavlov recently, and with some serious Onward time being next on my list, I'm excited to see where this road goes. Seeking Dawn is a game that you can buy right now in early access for $35. Why the black screen, you say? Because when you buy the game, not only is the game non-refundable because you have to buy it through the dev's third-party website, the site has no SSL security cert, allowing them to access your money and your details. Also, once you have paid the full $35 price tag, you are hit with an NDA saying that you aren't allowed to share any game footage or screenshots after you've paid the $35 price tag. Oh, but that's okay, because the game being sold to the public is just a buggier version of the game, not the more polished version that YouTubers will get access to in the near future. Just let that sink in for a second. Now, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't buy the game, because that would be slander. And even though sharing glimpses of footage would likely fall under fair use, I'm not going to do that, because in my humble, mostly inconsistent opinion, this is a dirty practice. And I just want you all to be aware that while I know big companies all have some big dirty secrets, this is some next level sneaky shit. Do with that info what you please. Moving on, Sensor Bounds is a free Oculus app that lets you see what your sensors see in VR. In my opinion, this is an absolutely essential application for Rift users, as the Scene View app built into the Oculus debug tool can be a bit touch and go. With Sensor Bounds, you can see your hands and controllers in a virtual room and align them to make sure that the sensors you have are pointed where they should be for maximum coverage, as opposed to the Oculus setup, which is a bit 2D. Disk Scene is another great app that handles this task, but Sensor Bounds has the advantage of being hosted and launched directly from the Oculus store, and I'll put a link in the description for both of those apps. Also, a program called Jake Steinerman has posted up an absolutely awesome guide on how to build an app for the Oculus Go from start to finish. A Reddit user called DK has scanned and Kratos from the latest God of War title, and then place the model right into VR, which shows how cool scanning your favorite game characters and viewing them up close in VR can be. The Pimax team have put up an update on their Kickstarter site saying that 10 8K testing units will ship this month, and the units are stable at 80Hz, with the 5K units stable at 90Hz. And Humble Bundle is having a VR sale right now. As always, all the links are in the description. And finally, Oculus Research has changed its name to Facebook Reality Labs, and if you listen closely to the announcement, you'll hear
Laurel.
And that's this week on The Grid VR. You can help support this channel by grabbing exclusive rewards on Patreon, and if you like this video, then crush that like button, have your say in the comments below, and hit the EXO logo to subscribe if you wanna. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!